Every one of my records means something. The label, the producer, the year it was made.
Make sure you have the record player on at night.
Bad luck streaking dance in school, down on my knees in pain. Bad luck streaking dance in school.
All right, so we are recording right now.
Oh, okay. So the world will know.
Well,
we'll edit this out.
I wanted to do one where we just kind of do a little intro because I did the intro for episode 1 where I just say this is what we're listening to, blah blah blah, whatever.
Okay.
And so I'm trying to give background, and I just figured it needed a whole thing. So, how it started. My recollection is just that it was after a UFC fight. For whatever reason, we just sat down and started listening to the speaker. I remember we listened to "I Hung My Head" by Johnny Cash. I was a huge fan. I just liked that. I thought it was fun. I just liked that we sat around and listened to music. And I thought, okay, we should do it again sometime.
Right.
And then it turned. And then we were listening to it on the TV maybe one time, and it was like, well, what the fuck? I got a record player and good speakers. Why don't we do that?
Make a thing out of it.
So I don't think it needs to be vinyl records necessarily, but I just think sitting down and listening to music is kind of
I think that's the important part.
Yeah,
we'll sound like old fellers here, but I just think no one sits down and listens to records as a project anymore. You can't identify any recurring themes. Yeah. Even with music that people deem as horseshit. Like a Taylor Swift album or something. Like, I'm sure, like, if you listen to that whole record, it depends how they make music. Like, maybe they make music to be a number one hit, but, like, you miss a lot if you only listen to a couple songs on a record. Yeah. So I think people should start doing that, whether it's digitally or around a record player. As long as you're listening to whole projects at a time and you're with people you can discuss it with and, share how you feel about the music with, that's what makes it's awesome.
But everyone I talk to about it thinks it's so cool, like that, we sit down and we actually listen to music, and
it's so weird that's to me that's like that surprises people that you do that. It's crazy that it's gone so far and that's how it is. Like, they've got nothing but singles from 1,000 different artists and haven't listened to a project.
Singles make money though.
Yeah.
And then in the streaming world,
It's true. So I'm just gonna we can kind of talk about different ones. I'm gonna run through all the records we've listened to.
All right. I'm probably not gonna remember a lot of them.
So Warren Zevon, 1976.
That's the one with
he's just like standing on the cover. There's like a big spotlight.
What's the last song on that album? The one
Desperados.
Yeah. Okay. That's my favorite Warren Zevon album.
Yeah. All the Beauty in His Whole Life, Brother Ali.
That was a hit. We liked that one.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan. The Freewheelin' Bob Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Dylan.
Excellent.
And then the next week, so that's the other thing. We were doing 3 records at a time initially, as opposed to 1. The next week was Warren Zevon, Excitable Boy, the Dino Spectrum, and Leonard Skinnerd, pronounced Leonard Skinnerd. I forgot about that one. Next, it was this was fun. Tenacious D, Post-Apocalypto.
Yeah.
I thought that was fun to listen to.
It was a fun record.
My favorite is when they're having, I forget what song it is, but like
it's important that
yeah. Suck his fingers, his toes, obviously his cock. So that was fun. Neil Young, After the Gold Rush. And then Jackson Browne, Wait for the Sky. I think that's the greatest album that was ever written. Next week I did Dawes. That was all your favorite bands. Common, Resurrection.
Wow, I'm surprised how I must have really liked that record because I always think we listened to that later than we really did.
What, Common?
Yeah, I'm surprised that we listened to that so early on. That was such a good record.
Like when we start listening to records again, that's the one I want to like bring back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have it on the playlist, but yeah, I don't remember that one at all, really.
Yeah.
And then Chris Stapleton from A Room, Volume 1.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
And then we did the Wild Feathers, Greetings from the Neon Frontier.
That's the live album, right?
Good.
No, that's their latest studio
album,
yeah. The Jimi Hendrix Experience, or Experience. That's one of the favorite ones
Yep.
that we've done. Charles Bradley, I forget which one this was. No Time for Dreaming.
Yep.
Did we listen to him in order? Is that like
We
his
did.
first
Yep.
one? Okay.
Yep.
So the next week was is this J. Cole? Yeah, J. Cole, For Your Eyes Only. The Wild Feathers live at the Ryman. We were getting ready to see the Wild Feathers live, which is why I was doing Wild Feathers records.
That was so fun.
That was fun.
And then Iron Maiden, Power Slave.
That was awesome
that week.
yeah,
Yeah, then we took a break and we saw the Wild Feathers live. We came back with All Bruce.
oh my god!
So that's, I don't,
it's worth mentioning. We probably don't remember the last two records because we drank a copious amount of alcohol.
yeah, that's true.
But we had a good time.
In our defense, The River's a long album, so I remember a little bit of The River, just not the whole thing.
No, we had a really good time. That was one of the better record nights. We were just so pumped. It was all Bruce. That included his new release, Western Stars, and we did it. Didn't we do that night in the order in which, like, chronologically? So from earliest to...
Yeah, so there's Darkness on the Edge of Town, 1978. The River, 1980. So that was his next record.
Yeah, right after that, yeah.
And then a big, huge, long break
Yeah.
for Western Stars.
Big jump from 1980.
Yeah. Next week was St. Paul and the Broken Bones, Young
my
Sick
God, so
Camellia.
Excellent.
I just bought that.
Excellent.
I bought Half the City just yesterday.
Nice.
On
Not on vinyl. I bought it digitally.
Okay.
I should have bought it on vinyl. I'm an idiot. Because I could have got it on Amazon and they would have gave me the digital free. But
Next is one I'd like to spin again, Nasir.
That
That
his
was-
new album.
Yeah, well, it came
Kanye
out
produced?
like two summers ago. But yeah, that was like my favorite record of 2017. I think that's when it came out, 2017. It got a lot of shit though from critics, but I liked it.
Yeah. And then back to Charles Bradley, Victim of Love.
I'm a victim of loving you. What a great record.
Yeah, that was good. All his records are good. I mean,
Rest in peace, Mr. Bradley.
The next week, I really liked this one. We did Jason Isbell and the 400 Unit, the Nashville
Oh,
Sound.
that was another big hit.
Tupelo is an excellent song.
Yeah, yeah.
Excellent.
Atmosphere, When Life Gives You Lemons, You Paint That Shit Gold. I like that record a lot.
Yeah.
And that was cool. That was one of the most highly, the record itself was the storybook and like a hardcover.
Yeah.
Right. It was pretty expensive. It was a limited edition. Yeah, it come with a storybook for kids, like based on the subject matter from the songs, but like in terms a kid would understand. It was. It's a very cool
really
concept.
cool how he packaged that and everything.
And what I wish more guys would do is this one. He had like a credited guitar player on a lot of the songs,
Yes.
like as opposed to just whatever they do.
Whoever, yeah.
Normal, yeah. The last one that week was Rage Against the Machine, Evil Empire.
I must say, ladies and gentlemen, my neck was sore when I woke up the next morning, and I am not lying. I had crick in my neck from headbanging the whole night. I headbanged for the whole hour runtime of that record.
I'm glad.
It was great.
The next week is the first one. Kyle joined us, so this was our first 4-record night. We did Jackson Brown's The Pretender, The Doors. I think it's just self-titled, right? The Doors?
Yeah, just The Doors, yeah. 1967, I believe.
Yeah, that was a really good one, too. Kyle brought Dio, Intermission.
Oh, yeah.
That was a live album. That's the only album that's not on the Record Night playlist because it's not on Spotify.
Right.
So,
right.
And then Audio Slave. Audio Slave?
Yep.
Self-titled?
Yep.
Next week, Warren Zevon. We went back to Bad Luck Streak and Dancing School. That's the orchestral beginning with the gunshots at the front.
That was a cool record.
Enter the Wu-Tang from the Wu-Tang Clan.
Bum, 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 bum.
And then Charles Bradley's last record, I think, Changes. 2016.
See, I don't have Jake's voice.
That's okay. You see, it's all about the soul, Joe.
All right, the next week, this was inappropriate. Oh, no, it wasn't a follow-up to Audio Slave. But Chris Cornell.
Oh, yeah.
That was a really good one, man. His last record. His last solo record. I like that a lot. Warren Zevon, Stand in the Fire, live album. Blind Guardian, Imagination from the Other Side. That was a Kyle.
Yeah, that was interesting, for sure.
Yeah.
Something new.
Yeah, something that we haven't that we didn't dive into yet.
The closest to that would have been the Iron Maiden record.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah. And then the last one that week was Metallica and Justice for All. I always go to call it Injustice for All, but it's and Justice for All.
Yeah, it's from the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay, so appropriately now we get to the point where I started running through the Sturgill collection. So Sturgill Simpson, High Top Mountain, Stevie Nicks. I don't even know.
Yeah, we talked through that.
Yeah, we talked through the entire record. So what? I don't even know what that record's called. The Wild Heart, 1983.
Yeah. Oh, very 80s. Very 80s.
Yeah. Next, we returned to Brother Ali, Morning in America and Dreaming in Color.
Yeah.
I didn't like that one as much. I was
a little indifferent on it.
It's hard to beat, especially in the political climate of today. I feel like, I think especially with our like age group, when you think about All the Beauty in His Whole Life, his whole goal with that was to get away from, like politics and talk about life. Like it's so much a big part of our lives. Like politics.
The newer record, you mean?
Yes, the
but
newest
I feel like
record.
The first half of the album was all about like politics and about like the military and about.
Yes. I'm talking about the one that we really liked, All the Beauty in His Whole Life.
Oh, the one.
As opposed to that, it's like. And we don't want to see this shit politics on news. I mean, you can understand what he's saying, and there's good lyrics. You know, we listen to that song "Need and Not," like about needing work. This is when the unemployment crisis was going on. So, and I feel like if we were listening to it during when it was released, I feel like it would have resonated a lot more. Mm-hmm. But
yeah, that's true.
It also just shows that he's changing appropriately with the time, so he's in touch with his audience at least. But anyway, it was a pretty good record.
He's talented nonetheless. But the other thing too about the newer record, All the Beauty in His Whole Life, he didn't avoid political topics on that. Album. He went after him just fine, but it was still different.
It was more personal.
Yeah,
his approach to politics and All the Beauty was more personal, whereas I feel like it was like, you know what I mean, like. It was Dear Black Sun. It was about something he experienced rather than it wasn't preachy. It was an experience record rather than a preachy record.
That's my issue with Brother Ali is sometimes I think he gets a little too preachy. I mean, he's very wise and he's a very smart man, but I think sometimes on a record he comes off as a little too preachy.
Yeah.
This Morning in America and Dreaming in Color, also a very controversial album cover. He's doing some sort of he's doing some sort of Muslim prayer, and he's using the American flag as his like prayer rug.
Yeah, I don't think that was well thought out by Brother Ali there.
I feel like when, as far as that's concerned, he's obviously trying to get your attention
for sure.
And the most important thing I think for like you can understand it's the same thing with this Colin Kaepernick business. I think when someone does something like that, which is over for like a year.
Yeah, he got to settle.
But you just gotta really you just look into what they mean by what they're doing. We're so quick to. I think on Bill Burr's last comedy special, he was talking about Colin Kaepernick, and Bill Burr was like, "No, that's not. He doesn't mean it's not that he doesn't like the troops. He's not trying to disrespect. He's trying to draw attention to something. That doesn't mean you have to agree with what he's saying. If you don't agree with it, say, hey, I don't like that. I don't agree that the police are being overly brutal or that this is happening." You just got to kind of look into why they're doing what they're doing and the message that they're trying to convey and agree with it or don't, and feel free to voice your opinion, and that's fine. But just don't turn it into something it's not. I feel like people get too caught up in tradition rather than trying to learn about each other.
That's the media turning it into something that it's not.
Yeah, that's...
Spinning the story 900 different ways.
Yeah.
Just to get ratings.
I agree with all that, but you also, it goes both ways. You have to be cognizant of how your action's going to be perceived. Like,
true.
Well, I didn't mean anything by it. Well, come on, dude. Like, you're kneeling on the floor. I don't know. You got to understand it's going to be perceived a certain way. I don't know. I don't have a problem with it myself, but it would,
No, totally agree.
Then the last one that week was Gary Clark Jr. live.
That
was terrific. That was
all those slow blues songs that he plays on it. Like it's 3:00 in the morning.
Yep.
Was that the record I kept commenting that he was hitting low on the neck? and we liked that, or was that a different record?
I think that's the one. I think that's the one you were
He
talking
was
about.
really getting into the guts of the guitar. A lot of guitar solos
he's a hell
are.
of a guitar player.
A lot of guitar soloists or virtuosos are really high on the neck, trying to get you with that quick. But it takes
it's
a
easy
lot
to
of
play up there too, so
yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just to get into the guts, the lower, like it's just almost like a lost art. Like people don't realize, like, and I'll say the same thing for someone like Victor Wooten, who we haven't listened to yet, who I'd like to bring a record for. The bass guitar, traditionally people are really low and don't realize that you can make beautiful sounds with the bass guitar high up on the neck if you know what you're doing. So I just think, I think it's great to hear people who can really use the full range of the instrument and not get stuck in one note range. So that was excellent for me.
I remember this one. We kept commenting like, "What is it about blues music? Like, why is it so good?" Like, we just kept kind of coming back to
They
like,
cracked the code like a long time ago.
Didn't we say it's not always like blues is a good mixture of like knowing when to really get into it, and blues a lot of times is a lot of drawn out. Like it leaves you wanting.
They take their time.
They take their time and like. Yeah, it's almost like I'm saying, like getting into the instrument, like really letting a note resonate, or letting the instrument do its thing to convey a message. It's not blues doesn't feel forced.
No,
I'll say that, like as I guess my takeaway from that point. Like, what is it about blues? Blues doesn't feel forced. It's not about the technical. Like metal is a very technical.
Yes,
every note is like. Super intentional, whereas in blues they really know how. It's almost like they let the instrument speak for them.
Yeah.
So they know their instrument.
I mean, the format's like the same, right? Like it's this you're playing a blues song, like it's pretty much the same, but then they leave room to like improvisation. You know what I mean? Like they'll just kind of, and then you can put your stamp on it from
you
there.
can put solos in there in between.
Yeah,
I really like all those blues songs that he does on that album. Excellent.
All right. The next week, Sturgill's next record, Metamodern Sounds in Country Music.
Probably my favorite record. One of my favorite records we've listened to. I still
Metamodern Sound in Country Music.
I think that's his best record to date. And I know a lot of people will disagree with me. With
is that the one with like Long White Line and
yeah. I would agree with you, Joe. But his best record to date came out yesterday, today. Rather.
I haven't heard it yet.
I don't want to go that far, but it's really good. Manchester Orchestra.
That was cool.
Surprisingly, very good.
What is it called? A Black Mile to the Surface.
Yes,
that was a cool record.
Yeah,
the artwork was really cool. Remember the artwork on the record
with the girl
tree?
Trying to like fly or whatever she was trying to do. Yeah. I go like on the Spotify playlist. Anytime those songs come up, I'm like, oh man, this was really good.
Yeah,
like I really like a lot of those songs. It reminds me of like stuff I used to listen to like back in like high school.
It's
like that kind of music.
It's weird. It's really good. There's like a whole genre of that kind of sounding music that I just don't listen to. You know,
I'm gonna bring Silver Sun Pickups one day.
Okay,
they're like they're like if you look on Spotify, they're related.
Yeah, I was saying that to you. It just gives me a Silver Sun Pickups.
That's what I was telling Kyle. The guy's voice reminds me of the lead singer of Silver Sun Pickups.
Gorillaz Plastic Beach.
That was one of the more interesting records.
Yeah,
I really like the record. I love that record.
I think I do too. I've kind of gone back. It's like I said. It was off the wall enough that I'm like, I don't know what I listened. I don't know what I
just
listened to.
think in a setting like this where we're just sitting relaxing.
It's so like high tech music and like an old.
It's just kind of, and I think that was like.
But some of those
we were doing 4 records that night too.
Yeah.
It's
a lot to take in.
And I would say like with a lot of those records, with a lot of those like I'll call them asides, like musical breaks. I remember I was saying like this is one of those records that I would fall asleep to. It's really a record that's really more personal. Like it's almost like it's meant to be listened like individual with the project rather than a group setting. You can appreciate it more if you sit down with it yourself.
But I also feel like if you put that on like in a club or something in a party atmosphere, I think it would get over better than just sitting like relaxing and
Oh yeah.
Because it's got like the driving beats and the synths and the techno kind of sounds.
There was a song, I remember at the end, like, I remember you saying, Jake, you said, like, this is actually really beautiful, whatever song, I can't remember what song it was. But that was cool, because I don't think of that with, like, synths and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know, you don't think of that kind of music being, like, nice, but maybe it was,
Empire Ants?
Maybe.
With the girl who sings, or was that...
Maybe. There was a song that came on the other day on the playlist, and I listened to it, and I was like, wow, this is really good. Melancholy Hill or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Out on Melancholy Hill or something like that. I don't know.
It's a good song.
So that's a good example of one I like to listen to again, for sure. Neil Young, and with Crazy Horse, everybody knows this is nowhere.
Excellent.
That's
Is that the one I fell asleep and regretted it? I feel like I was like...
But you didn't actually fall asleep.
I was
but
really
you were-
struggling.
You're
I was
not
struggling to
not
stay
enough.
awake.
That's so good.
That was really good.
This was and again, so I post these on Instagram, and I don't have a lot of followers or nothing, so I'm not concerned about that. But for whatever reason, this one that stirred Metamodern, this was like by far the most popular
All right.
of the pictures I posted. 27 people liked it, which is way more than I
wow.
normally get. But yeah, everybody knows this is nowhere. Forget just record night records that I like. That I really think that's up there with records. Just given the time, 1969.
Yeah.
The jams on that record are
Oh my goodness.
terrific.
Cowgirl in the Sand. Everyone knows this is nowhere, and then
Cinnamon Girl.
Cinnamon Girl.
No, what's the other? What is the There's one more we're missing. Cinnamon Girl, Cowgirl in the Sand.
Down by the River.
Yeah, Down by the River. Yeah, dude, that's my favorite one.
Yeah, it's such a good song.
Another I bring it up all the time, but Neil Young shooting his girlfriend. Very recurring theme in music. I thought he was shooting a baby. I thought it was like about a mother shooting a baby, but I was getting that confused with
Keep
Rockin'
Rocking in the Free World, yeah.
where the girl throws the baby in the
In a
garbage can or
trash
something.
can, yeah. Or garbage can.
Okay, the next week, this was up there, man. This is one of my favorite ones we did. Jack Johnson, All the Light Above It Too. That was Kyle's pick. I like Jack Johnson a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Can't say I'm a fan of Jack Johnson.
Was that the one where he was like on a beach and it had all the...
Yeah.
I really liked that record.
The album art was very cool.
I liked
that
record a lot. I really did. It was very folky. It gave me a folky vibe.
So we'll put a pin in that. I want to come back to why Joe doesn't like Jack Johnson. The White Stripes.
Oh, yeah.
White Blood Cells. Dude, the White Stripes, everybody know, like, they're very popular and everything. But I just, like, they'll come on the playlist. I'm like, God, they're so fucking good, man.
They're very talented. And it's just two of them. It's just Meg and Jack.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, it's badass. It's straight up music, but it's very good.
Yep.
J. Cole, K.O.D.
Oh,
I love that record.
Everyone knows what that is. Mm-hmm. Excellent record.
And then Sturgill Simpson, A Sailor's Guide to Earth.
I love that record.
Oh,
I love Breaker's Roar so much.
What an emotional roller coaster that album is.
So
it's so good.
Well, so one of the things I don't get with his new record came out, they're like, oh my god, it's not a country record. I'm like, so Sailor's Guide wasn't a country record. It was a soul record. I don't know. Like, if anything, I don't know. It just wasn't. His voice maybe makes it a country record, I guess. But I mean, other than that, it really had no traces of country at all.
Right.
You know, so.
But when it won it won for album of the year, right?
No, it did win country album of the year.
Okay, so they did category on.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a country.
And then it was up for album of the year, which he's been doing interviews now, because the new record came out, and he said had he won, his plan was if he won the Grammy, he was gonna just hand the trophy to Beyonce and leave.
Smart.
Okay, so we went back down to the next one was Kyle was not here, but it was our last multiple record night. Dire Straits Making Movies.
Yeah.
From 1980.
Romeo and Juliet. It's a good song.
I like lots of good songs on the record. I don't even know the names of them. Skate Away.
Oh yeah, Skate Away too. Yeah.
Okay, then Tech Nine.
Oh yeah.
Something Else.
Yeah. Cool record.
Interesting.
I love that record.
It was something else, alright.
And then Beastie Boys License to Ill.
What a jam!
That was a great record.
Just a fun record.
Yeah, how dare you, Jake? So let's back it up.
I was trolling you guys. Give me a break.
Okay, so Jack Johnson. So why not Jack Johnson, Joe?
I just think I don't know. It's just too I don't know how to describe it.
No one liked him. When no one was over, he brought up Jack Johnson. I'm like, oh yeah, we listened to Jack Johnson's show. I was surprised that, I don't know, I didn't expect that.
Yeah. I feel like it's music for, like, college, like, hipsters.
Oh, well, it's definitely that.
You know what I mean? Like...
Yeah, I agree with that. I just liked it. I thought it was good.
It's maybe it's a little too poppy for me. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's I generally, I wouldn't like that. I just remember.
I feel like if I was listening to that, like on the beach or something, or like at a pool, like it'd be cool.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't know.
All right, that was it, and then from there now, Tool, Robert Johnson, Dawes, and now we're to this week.
Tool was amazing.
Yeah.
Tell them about your experience.
Well, I think so. I neglected to say it last week, but I feel like every week now we have to say, "Sorry, guys, this is not going to sound like Tool."
Yeah, for sure.
But that, well, we'll see. I don't know what we're listening to The Offspring this week.
Yep.
But when we get to Sturgill next week, it doesn't sound like Tool, but it's close. I mean, I don't know. Like, it definitely has that influence on it.
I'm really excited.